I'm a 32-year-old woman, and this story starts on Thanksgiving, because of course it does. My fiancé Corbin, who's 35, and I were invited to what my mother called a small family dinner. That was the exact wording she used in her text. No mention of guests, no hint of a social gathering. Just us, my mother, and maybe her fiancé Paul, who I hadn't met yet. We got there at exactly 6 p.m., a bottle of wine in hand. Corbin even wore the blazer I love on him. The house was spotless, lights glowing warm through the big windows, and parked along the street were about 15 cars. That's when I knew I'd been set up. Inside, I counted no less than 30 people milling around with drinks, country club friends, real estate associates, and the kind of people who wear pearl earrings to casual gatherings. My mother spotted us from across the living room. She swept over with that high-pitched voice she uses when she's trying to sound warm. And here they are, she said. Everyone, this is Corbin, Harper's boyfriend. She's still figuring things out, but she snagged herself a good one. It took everything in me not to turn around and leave, but Corbin squeezed my hand and we moved deeper into the party. She started introducing us to everyone. This is Harper. She's doing some sort of creative thing, right, sweetie? Like design? Digital something? She'd met Corbin before, but she reintroduced him like she was doing me a favor by showcasing my stability accessory. As the evening unfolded, she kept up the routine. Subtle digs in front of every new person. Harper's always been the artistic type, she said to a man who ran a hedge fund. Never quite the academic, but she has her charm. At one point, while standing by the cheese board, she told someone, graphic design is more of a passion project than a career, don't you think? Corbin stepped in, calmly mentioning that my agency had just finished a campaign for a luxury brand, and she actually laughed, loud enough for people nearby to turn and look. That's cute, she said. She's always been imaginative. I felt my jaw clench, but I stayed silent. I didn't want to ruin Corbin's night. But then came the toast. She stood up, wine glass raised, clinking it loudly with a spoon. The room quieted. To Harper, she said with a bright smile, who's still trying to become something at 32. Never give up, darling. There was laughter. A couple of people even clapped. Corbin immediately reached for my hand under the table, but I pulled away. I got up and walked to the bathroom, locking the door behind me. I sat on the edge of the bathtub, staring at the tile, counting each second like it would keep me from screaming. We left not long after. Corbin drove in silence until we were 2 blocks from our apartment. Then he asked, has it always been like this? I nodded. I told him how this had been my whole life, how my mom used comparison like a parenting method, how nothing I ever did was worth celebrating unless it could be measured, posted, or bragged about, how she compared me to her friends' kids who were lawyers, consultants, orthopedic surgeons. I told him she called my business Photoshop time even after I had clients, employees, invoices, and a commercial lease, that she once asked if I could design a flyer for her friend's Pilates studio and said she'd pay me in gift cards. Back home, I went straight to my closet and pulled out an old hard drive. I plugged it into my laptop and scrolled through the folders until I found it, one labeled stuff I should probably forget. Inside were voicemails, emails, screenshots of texts she sent when I missed a family brunch, journal entries from college. One folder held a video I'd saved from when I was 12, her screaming at me over a B in math while I cried silently behind the camera I'd hidden inside a stack of books on my shelf. I didn't cry while watching it. I didn't feel anything, really, but just something solid forming in my chest like a wall. I realized I'd spent years protecting her reputation. I never shared the way she'd talk to me when no one was around. I made excuses, said she was just intense or had high standards. But that night she toasted my failure in front of strangers.